10. Remember when Goldberg squashed Dolph Ziggler at SummerSlam 2019? This was a nice dose of nostalgia that didn't overstay its welcome or damage any major storylines. Why can't it always be like that? 9. Hell in a Cell match used to feel like a big deal, but sadly this is no longer the case due to the annual pay-per-view. With 3 cell matches taking place at this year's event, it's clear to see why the famous stipulation has lost its shine. 8. Eddie Kingston's recent run is a great example of what can happen when companies give their stars freedom on the mic. Kingston managed to turn a one-off match into an epic feud culminating in the main event of Full Gear, one of their biggest shows of the year. 7. It's hard to think of a better pairing than WWE and 50-50 booking. How often do we see someone score a big win on pay-per-view, only to lose a meaningless rematch the next night on Raw? 6. Kevin Dunn has been working for WWE for over 30 years, and based on the recent work he might have finally lost the plot. His rapid camera cuts are distracting and often makes it difficult to follow the action on the screen. 5. For some reason, WWE decided 2020 would be the year they broke up every tag team in the company's entire history. Maybe that's a slight exaggeration, but far too many teams have bitten the dust over the past 12 months. 4. 3 hours is far too long for a weekly wrestling show, even with a roster as big as WWE's. Going back to a 2-hour format would allow Vince & Co. to cut out the filler and maintain a good pace throughout the show. 3. Especially in comparison to his deep and meaningful tag team division, WWE's tag team division is virtually non-existent, maybe even downright laughable. That holds true for both the men's and women's divisions, which are hanging on by a thread, rarely delivering truly compelling storylines, and consisting largely of makeshift tag teams with no long-term direction. 2. Especially in comparison to his deep and meaningful tag team division, WWE's tag team division is virtually non-existent, maybe even downright laughable. That holds true for both the men's and women's divisions, which are hanging on by a thread, rarely delivering truly compelling storylines, and consisting largely of makeshift tag teams with no long-term direction. 1. Remember when NXT stars getting promoted to Raw or SmackDown felt like a really big deal? Ah, those were the days.